On va maintenant basculer en anglais dans quelques instants. L'occasion d'échanger sur les Virtual Univers for Sustainable Disruption. C'est l'occasion aussi d'accueillir du coup le groupe Dassault Systèmes. Hi Alice.
Oh,
Do you hear us? We are very happy to have you with us on stage today. You are Chief Sustainability Officer for Dassault Systèmes.
Mm-hmm.
Dassault is one of the global leaders in the field of 3D experience, and we are very happy to have you with us this afternoon. Please, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, and thank you to everyone who has joined. For those of you who don't know Dassault Systèmes, I've put here for you a little bit about us. So our purpose statement is to provide business and people with 3D experience universes to imagine sustainable innovations capable of harmonizing product, nature, and life. This purpose is pretty core to who the company is and has been in place for a long time to help drive, kind of provide this North Star to what we're trying to accomplish. So just a little bit more for those who aren't familiar with us, we are a leading 3D design and engineering software company. We have about 250,000 customers worldwide, 17,000 employees. We're present in 180 countries. And sustainability is really at the core of what we do. So we have put here a little bit about our sort of sustainability credentials. Corporate Knights, we were the leading sustainable company in the world in 2018. Fortune, the same sustainability all stars list, we're number 2. And then we're part of a lot of these membership organizations, as I'm sure your companies are, trying to collectively make a difference on sustainability. So beyond what we can do directly with our customers, connecting to others and making a difference. So that's a little bit about who we are. And here is a little bit about virtual twins. So a brief history of virtual twins. So the concept has been around for a long time, which is, can you make a digital replicate, a duplicate of some sort of real life thing? So since the 1960s, when you had like computer-driven simulation, it wasn't quite what we would call a virtual twin, but you're already starting to experiment with pairing, NASA doing pairing technology to sort of track space missions. In 1977 with the flight simulators to help with computer simulation of flying. You have an increase in the amount of the uses of simulations really entering into manufacturing processes in the 80s. And in the 2000s really becomes central to sort of systems design and engineering. So designing any sort of complex object and being able to test its performance is now essentially done using this virtual model. So for large companies making complex things, the virtual twin technologies are really central now to the way you design and engineer things. So this is sort of a concrete example. So this is showing how virtual twins are used in what we call product lifecycle management, which is the full life cycle of a project an organization might be running, or even a city, or actually anyone might be running. You can imagine it through this concrete example, but try to use your imagination to think that this can actually apply to anything. So you can put anything in a virtual universe. But this is an example about building a train station, and you can see you go from the planning phase where you can actually capture, for example, all the information about a location. And make a virtual twin of that. So this is what we do a lot with cities, sort of mapping what the city looks like. Then you can design what your infrastructure will look like or what your product would look like. And you can do that by letting everyone see. Different stakeholders can connect and all see the same version of it as it's being built in 3D. So a real sort of virtual image of what you're trying to design. Then you can analyze it using simulation data. So you can say, well, if it gets really hot or if it gets really cold or if there's lots of wind, what will happen to this infrastructure? Then you can simulate and model the construction of it. So when we start to build it, what will the logistics look like? Where will the supplies need to come from? How can we transfer them from different locations? You can model all of that in the virtual universe, and then you can see how it will run. And you can more and more we're using IoT and sensors to send data, so you have a real life data coming into and feeding virtual twins. And so you can actually watch your operations happening and then make modifications in the virtual world to see the implications of that before you actually make interventions in the physical world. And you use all this data then to help you redesign the process or redesign your infrastructure or do predictive maintenance or things like that. So it's a very, very powerful technology that's being used more and more by companies, by cities, and increasingly in our case in life sciences. So about 20% of our business now comes from life sciences. So you can also model the human body. You can model anything you want to in these systems. And so I just like to not necessarily present, but raise a question, which is our vision of why these virtual twins will be so central to sustainability in the coming years. So it's this concept. So, and I will end here, and then I don't know if there are questions or how that will work, but this is our central message, which is that if you are designing disruption, virtual universes allow users to design, test, and model radically new sustainable products and processes in record time. And I'd like to qualify maybe what record time means here, because as most of you know, if you're familiar with the sustainability agenda, this is called by the UN the decade to deliver. So between 2020 and 2030, we actually have to radically rethink the way we consume and manufacture everything that is driving our economy. 10 years is no time at all, frankly. So if you are continuing on a path towards incremental improvements in existing products and services in the existing parts of our economy, then there are other technologies that might help you to do that. If you want to radically disrupt the way you do something, you can completely conceive it from the way you make a product, the materials you use, the way it works, all the way through to how it would be dismantled. You can completely imagine something in a virtual universe and get it into production, test it in a virtual universe, and get it into production in the real world within a rapidly reduced amount of time. And I think that's what we're missing now on the sustainability agenda is time. And these tools are going to help, hopefully, our customers, but just in general, everyone, to reach our sustainability goals and net zero and the circular economy goals within this kind of record time. And I think this is one of the most powerful tools out there to do it. So that's sort of our hypothesis, and that's also our vision for the future. And I'm happy to share it and to answer questions about it and to engage and do experiments with it and help everyone to sort of embrace this, because I think we don't have enough time left.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you for the vision you were able to share with us today. For all the questions, I will request all our audience to go on your virtual booth, the Dassault Systèmes virtual booth. People will ask all the questions there, and you will be able to answer all the people who have all the questions.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alice, and talk soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.